Hey guys, welcome back to Homestead Prepping and Survival. So I wanted to do a video and talk about security after crap hits the fan. SHTF I know is a lot more popular. I just prefer to use crap hit the fan, okay? But so I drew out a few examples here and why I feel you need a minimum of 9 people for short term. That's what it says on the first row. You need at least 9 people short term. That's less than 14 days. And then you need 18 people longer term. That's 15 days to 3 months or more, with many more people on standby. So if something was to show up and become a potential threat, you would be able to address that by saying, hey, I need 5 more people over here. I need 6 more people over there. I need 10 people there. Whatever the, what's going on calls for. You need to have response people that can be there in 3 minutes or less. Preferably under 60 seconds, but you need to be able to get people there quick. So 3 people per shift, 3 shifts per 24-hour day. That's 8 hours each person. So if you have a MAG, a mutual assistance group or prepping group, whatever you want to call it, those people have to have time to eat and sleep and do their laundry and take care of their kids and help harvest food to feed their family and others, and hunt and fish and whatever, processed food. Keep your power, if you've got power, maintained and serviced, so you've got what you're planning to do. So I figure 8-hour days, 3 people is 9 people per day. You can go about 2 weeks with 9 people. Now, and then still be on high alert and ready for whatever may come at them. And 9 people fighting against, they can hold off quite a few. They can hold off a lot more than that if they are hunkered into the location and know it better than the opposing force. As a defense, they should be able to really take care of that. But at the same time, the first few days after crap hits the fan, say an EMP goes off and all electronics are no longer working, 95 or 99% of them, and the cell phones aren't working, most vehicles aren't working, and you've got, roving gangs coming to your area, as in this example here that I drew, the little side streets for a city block and then the little squares of the houses. I got 3 people, 1 at each end of the street and 1 toward the back side of those houses. Of course, depending on how long that distance is, whether they could cover all of that. But if you've got 1 on each front corner, here and here, they can see back this way. So they've got good field of vision all the way around, right? And this one does too, all the way around there. This guy can see all of this. So 3 people on security duty all the time. Now let's go to the other example. This one, similar to me out in the woods. This little road doesn't have dots down the middle, so it's, country road. It could be paved, gravel, dirt, whatever you want it to be. Woods all around. 1 on each front, 1 toward the back. Not on the property line, in a ways, okay? You want to be in 20, 30, 40 yards from the property line, wherever your best vantage point is for visibility to know when there's a threat coming. But they can watch all of that right here around. And then again, these can see back, forward, and right and left. So if you've got 9 people, you're not going to wear your people out. They're going to work 8 hours on security, and then they're going to have 8 hours of, group chores, which would be farming, that whether that's animals or vegetables or hunting or fishing or processing the food that someone else has, got, whether it's a deer or a hog or turkey or whatever, or doing laundry or, all that kind of stuff. Medical is going to be a huge thing. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get sick. You're going to need jobs, people to fill all those jobs. A little bitty small group is great for short term. And I mean short term is in 2 weeks or less. It's going to, after about 2 to 4 days, people are going to be running out of food and running out of water and start looking for resources. And that first day or two of them doing that, they're not going to be extremely violent. They're going to be more like, hey man, I heard you've got water, could I get some water from you? Give it to them if you're able to do that. I don't say give them food. But you tell them, look, I've got plenty of water. I will barter for it. What have you got that we could use, and so on. And, set communications up for that. Feel the people out. What are they people that you want to barter with? Are they people that you want to talk to? So, some of them, you're just going to say, you know what, buddy? You need to keep right on walking the opposite direction. So, my idea is to have a field of fire from each... Whoops, sorry, I dropped the phone. A field of fire from each person. So this guy is going to ward off any threat that most likely comes in the road this direction, and this one's going to get that direction. But remember, when the threat is coming, when it's first sighted, hey, I got one guy coming down a dirt road, he's 3/4 or a mile away, right? Or, hey, I got 19 guys or a big group of people headed this direction and they all look like they're armed and up to no good. That's when you call in for the backup. If it's only 1 or 2, you get 1 or 2 people over there, maybe another one with you, and then one out further that can observe that there's no ill intentions. Always cover your butt. And the rest of the people know about what's going on, but they don't have to be there. But guys, security when crap hits the fan is going to be vital. And I've done several videos on this. And one of them I actually said, who do you prep for? Guys, I don't prep for Joe Blow that lives in Americus or Andersonville or Montezuma, Oglethorpe, all these little towns around me. I don't prep for them. I prep to feed my group, my close family, my children, their spouses, my grandchildren, and people that I love and care for. But there is no free ride. Every one of those people will have jobs that they will have to do to help support the group overall. But I just wanted to really touch, I feel like we're getting close to crap hitting the fan, the economy, the way it's going. I talked about in the last video, or this one may come out first, but either way, all the major investment banks in just about any country you want to pick, Germany, Russia, any country you want to pick, are saying it's fixing to get bad. They're saying that it's going to be, when the 2008 slowdown or whatever it was, and the one from, the late 80s and in the 90s, and, all those things that they called, mini recessions or whatever. They're saying, all the experts out there today are saying, look, this is looking like it's going to be worse than all that combined. So my question to you is, are you ready for it? Because if you're not ready for it, you're running out of time. And I'm going to say something and hope it comes out the right way. I love my children and my grandchildren more than I love myself. I will gladly take a bullet while defending them or protecting them. But that does not mean that's going to be the plan. Myself nor you are any good to anybody if you get shot or stabbed, wounded, and can't function. Whether it's be under medical care, you can't move, or whether it be they're digging your hole and you're becoming fertilizer. So, yes, I would take a bullet for my family and my kids and my grandkids. But that's not the plan. I'm not going to go, hey, y'all run that way. Y'all run over there. I'll get them over here. It don't work that way. You got to be smarter than the guys that are going to be out there, and ladies, trying to take from you because they didn't want to prep. You know, I read an article one time several years back that says the basing off people's income groups is in ranges, like poor people with less than $20,000 a year income, and then people from $20,000 to $50,000 a year income, and then people for $50,000 to $150,000 a year income, and so on. Broke it up into income categories, and broke it up for a reason. Seeing how much each one of those categories had in savings. And it was found that the people in the poorest category, the less than $20,000 income, had the most in savings, had the most preps stored. Not just preppers, but the most stuff stored up to where they could go through a really hard time much, much easier than the people that were making $50,000 or the $150,000. Those people, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are just in a larger amount of debt than you are. If they all of a sudden can't work and get their, $20,000 a month or $10,000 a month paycheck, 6 months they lose their house. 3 months they lose their house. They won't have anywhere to live. They're going to be homeless. It's happened many times in our history. You've got to start at home with prepping. What can I do to make sure my place is going to be my place and I can defend it and take care of it? That's where you need to start. Once you've got that down and talking to your family, you don't have to say, hey, are you a prepper? You want to be a part of a prepper group? No, just say, hey, what are you going to do if this hurricane is bad and we lose power for 2 weeks? Have you got a way to, supply power to keep your freezers and your lights and things, necessities running if the grid's down? Use something like these storms that are coming in this time of year. Excuse me. As a way to bring up the conversation. And I've learned over the years, most people will gravitate the conversation into firearms. Well, I got enough bullets and I got guns and da-da-da-da. You know what? You got to be damn good, excuse my French. But the bad guy ain't got to be lucky but one time. There's only one of you. If there's 20 of them coming, and that's you, right there, and there's 20 coming down the road that mean to do you and your group harm, one of those people could get lucky and take you out, injure you, incapacitate you, whatever it may be. You got to be good to be able to stop 20. That's not a way to plan. You've got to have an idea, what can you do to stack the odds in your favor so that your family, your kids, your grandkids, your spouses, your best friend, your MAG, your group, mutual assistance group, are going to survive no matter what comes down that road or comes through those woods. It's going to have to be, I think, really bad before groups start coming through the woods, because that's more of a, they're going to attack this place because they know what it's got and they want it. So you would be more people on security detail in that case. More than just 3. These 3 are 24/7. Their shift is up, 3 more in the same area. And they're patrolling this whole area here. But if something comes up, their fallback should be to their firing position right here. Whether it be a large rocks that's going to give them cover, not just concealment. You know, a sheep will give you concealment where they can't see you behind it. But it don't stop bullets. So you need cover. So that even if they do shoot at you, as long as you're behind it, you're safe. So every position and several more throughout your property or the area you're defending should have good cover to where you can move from cover to cover to cover to cover to get to where you need to be to stop a threat. So I know I'm 16.5 minutes into this video, and I really had no idea how long the video was going to take me to communicate. But I haven't done one like this. The last one I did with this whiteboard was how off-grid solar power worked. And I actually just erased that in order to draw this. A lot of people do not have solar, but I'm seeing more and more solar on houses as I drive for work and drive back and forth to work. I'm seeing many more houses with solar than I did a year ago or 2 or 3 years ago. I've had mine for 10 years. So there are more and more people waking up. And those people, if that's one of you that's watching this video, send me an email. It's in the About Me section on my YouTube channel page. Send me an email. Ask me questions. If we're close enough, and I'm talking about within 2 or 3 hours of each other, brother, sister, we can talk through emails. Then we'll move to telephones. We'll talk. We'll text. We'll come up with a way for us to collaborate with each other to help each other be better prepared. I have no problem driving to you once we've got to know each other and helping you figure out where your weaknesses are so that you can improve that. And if you see weaknesses in my plan, I'm completely for you coming to tell me and show me what's a better option. So, yes, if you've got unlimited people, then 3 people on security duty all the time is not a big deal. You might want to throw 6 people on security duty all the time. Depends on how big that property you're trying to protect is. Here's the problem. Bad guy all by himself comes down the dirt road. You don't stop him when he gets here. You stop him when he gets here. And say, hey buddy, what you doing? What you want? And if he's full of crap and looking for stuff that he might could come back for, or find easy pickings to go back and tell his larger group of 100 people, well, you got to stop him before he ever gets here. You stop him back here. You turn him around. If they want to know what you got, they're going to have to be mighty stealthy to be able to figure it out. So, I just want to do a video to cover security after crap hits the fan. You need like-minded people. I've always told people for many, many, many years, I don't like to work on engines, cars, trucks, whatever. It's not my passion. But I will cut my mechanic a good steak if that's what he wants for him fixing my stuff. That's just a figure of speech. I'll take care of what he wants if he'll take care of what I want. That's the people you need in your group. Everybody doesn't have the knowledge to maintain a power system that is off-grid with wind turbines and solar power and all of that. But there are guys out there that can take a generator apart in an hour and fix it and rebuild it and have it back up and going. And you know what? You need that guy in your group. If he's the same type of person that you are, that y'all all want to keep bad people away, you need him in your group. One of my best friends that died several years ago, and I miss him dearly, was a pharmacist. And he was a very good pharmacist. There wasn't very many drugs out there that he couldn't tell you what they did. And not to put this drug with that drug and back and forth. He knew his stuff. He was part of my group. Unfortunately, cancer took him early. I'd have took a bullet for him as well. I'll see him again one day. But guys, you need people in your group. Security after crap hits the fans, it has to be more than you and your 12-year-old son or 18-year-old daughter with a rifle or a pistol or a BB gun. It's got to be something that is going to deter a threat. Don't always think, okay, here's 18 people coming down the street, all of them toting rifles and da-da-da-da. The only way to deter that threat is to show them just enough for them to go, oh, we really probably don't want to mess with that group. Show them just enough that they understand, not today, not tomorrow. Now they'll move on, and as long as there's other places for them to go and find what they're looking for, they'll be gone for a while. Eventually they will come back, but that might be months. Depends on how close to the source of the people that are scavenging and pillaging and all that are to your location. I would hope you built your MAG group and have a plan and a location to where you can get out of Dodge. If it lasts more than a week, it's going to get rough after that first week. After that first 4 or 5 days, it's going to be rough. There'll be some areas that it's not safe to go through after 3 or 4 days. So I hope you have a plan ahead of time on how to get to a safe place. Now, in my situation, which mine's not exactly like I drew out over here, but in my situation, they got to walk a long ways to get to me. I can see them coming over a mile away, and they can't see me. I got a buddy, Alan. I'm not going to call his last name, but Alan, I know he's got it set up. He knows when they're coming before they even realize they're there. That's why I have cameras on my property all the way around, not just on the road. I got one on every side of the house. They overlap each other. And I got one up on a pole above the house that's controllable, that I can turn 360 degrees and I can zoom in 300 yards away and tell you which finger you're holding up. I can control that with my phone from anywhere. I know everybody doesn't have that. So if you don't have that, you got to replace that with people. More people. Instead of 3, put 6. Instead of 6, put 9. Put 12. Scatter them out to where they're going to be able to communicate without radios or anything and get the word back in a hurry that there's a problem coming. You got a plan, guys. When the economy collapsed, when the bank closed on Tuesday at 2 o'clock and you can't get money out of the bank, like the lady that they was talking about on some of the other videos, that it wasn't in the United States, but went to her bank with a gun to rob the bank. But all she wanted was her money, because they weren't letting people get their money out of the bank. She went with a gun to rob the place, but all she wanted was her money. Guys, don't let it get to that point. Leave just enough in the bank to cover your bills that are going to come out of that bank. You need the rest of it in other places. It could be a safety deposit box, still in the bank, but it's not in their control. It's in your control. It could be a cache, some way of a container that you've buried close by around your house, around the woods, or 2 miles down the road. It could be a cache where you've got guns and ammo and food and water and medical, all this stuff stored there, so if you need it, no one else knows where it is. You got to put thought into how will we survive that. Don't think there's one guy and his girlfriend coming down the street with a baby. Oh, my baby's hungry. No, the baby's hungry. Okay, the baby's hungry. But they're using that as a, yeah, the baby's hungry, we got to feed the baby. All the while, you don't know that that's their baby. All the while, they could have killed the parents and took the baby so they could get close to you to kill you. You don't know. You stop them way before they get to your. You find out what you need to know way before it becomes a bad situation. My phone told me my video size was reached. It started a new video, so I don't know what was missed. I guess that means I'm going to have to put this one on the laptop and do some editing and combine the videos together. And I really like doing just one-shot videos. I've had several that I've had to retake 2 or 3 times because it didn't come out the way I wanted it. But guys, security after crap hits the fan is critical. If you've got food stored to feed your group, if you've got water stored to keep your people hydrated, if you've got blankets and a way to heat your house, or whatever, did you do it for that 100 people coming down the street that wants it? Or did you do it for the 25 people in your group? You got to have security. Otherwise, all your stuff is going to belong to somebody else. All of it. And more than likely, you either join them, which most of the time is not an option, or they will end you and leave you there for the buzzards and the coyotes and all that stuff to take care of while they're enjoying everything you busted your tail to get. I'm not doing this for that. It might be the last thing I ever do. But I prep, and I built this MAG group, Mutual Assistance Group, for a reason. That is to keep my children alive and to keep my grandchildren alive, so that no matter what, they will go on, and they will go on with enough supplies that I don't have to worry about them. I might skip supper, but I'm not skipping putting that extra can of baked beans or extra bag of rice or whatever into the long-term storage so that they can eat. So anyway, I hope this wasn't too long. It's a 30-minute video. Guys, I appreciate y'all so very much. Please let me know if you like this type of video. I love each and every one of y'all. I tell you that at the end of every video, and it kind of seems like that's my closing line. And it is my closing line, but it's my closing line because I mean it. Because I know Jesus Christ loves you. There is no doubt. Whether you believe it or not doesn't change the fact that he does. And whether you believe I love you or not doesn't change the fact that I do. I've got people that I'm family with that I love. I don't like them a whole lot, but I love them. And then I got people that I'm friends with that I call brothers and sisters that aren't DNA of mine, but they are family that I love. You've got to get your group built. Now's the time to get out there, get the group built, come up with a training session so that you can practice what you need to practice to defend your home, your homestead or your farm, whatever it may be. Otherwise, it's all for naught. And I don't know anybody that wants to prep and put up food and water and medical and livestock and, firearms and ammunition and bows and arrows and all that stuff. I don't know anybody that wants to go spend all their time and money into that stuff only to let someone else have it all for free. All right, guys, remember the last two things I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you. One drop of Jesus' blood was shed, and it wipes away all of our sins. One drop, and he did it willingly. I'm not Jesus, but there are people I will die for, if that's the only choice. I love y'all. Be safe. Be prepared. It's coming. Whether it be 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. It's coming. I've been prepping for close to 15 years, if not more. And I can tell you, I'm not as ready as I want to be, but it's coming. There's one more thing I want to tell you before I get off here. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So get out there, build your group, make a plan, and work that plan. That's the only way to survive. I love y'all. Y'all be good.